Chicagoland Sports Radio Sports Update.
At 6:01 p.m., I'm Charles Prodigy Ritchie with your ChicagolandSportsRadio.com update, brought to you by the Illinois Media School. Chicago Cubs began their season with a solid 5-1 start as they took 3 out of 4 against the Arizona Diamondbacks this past weekend as they defeated them yesterday 7-3. Jake Arrieta gets a win in this contest as his regular scoreless inning streak ends at 32, but he does help himself out in the process with a 440-foot home run. Cubs will have their home opener kicking off this evening at 7:05 p.m. Central Standard Time as they will be hosting the Cincinnati Reds. And other scores currently going on around the league in baseball as we take a look. It is currently the Pittsburgh Pirates defeated the Detroit Tigers 7-4 earlier. White Sox are currently leading the Minnesota Twins in Minnesota, bottom of the 8th inning with a 3-1 lead. It is the bottom of the 8th inning with the St. Louis Cardinals ahead of the Milwaukee Brewers 10-1. There is no score between the Braves and Washington Nationals in Washington as they are getting ready to start up momentarily, along with the Marlins and Mets in New York. Chicago Cubs will be going at 7:05 p.m. as it will be John Lester taking the hill going up against Finnegan of the Cincinnati Reds. In the NBA, the Golden State Warriors defeat the San Antonio Spurs. They officially equal the 1995-96 Bulls regular season record of 72-10 as they will need one more win this Wednesday as they will host the same team that nearly foiled their plans on Saturday, the Memphis Grizzlies. Chicago Bulls are now officially out of the playoffs as a result of the Indiana Pacers defeating the Memphis Grizzlies 129-105. Chicago Blackhawks, meanwhile, open the first round of the playoffs against the St. Louis Blues. Patrick Kane, in the meantime, picks up the Art Ross Trophy for most points scored in the season, leading all NHL players. This has been your ChicagolandSportsRadio.com update, brought to you by the Illinois Media School. For more information, go to BeOnAir.com. I'm Charles Prodigy. Hey now, and good everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Primed Up here on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. And as good, I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. I don't know about you, but we're gonna get ready to get into a lot of fun stuff going on. We're gonna be kicking off right after this topic. We got a little guest on the phone here. We got some couple players from the the CPIFL Football League. Similar to Arena, they're from the Chicago Eagles, who's one of the debut franchises here in the CPIFL. They play at the USC Pavilion. Joining me will be one of the media personalities. It'll be LaDonna Ray, along with 2 players from the team. We'll be having number 8, Stacey Howard, and number 49, linebacker of the Chicago Eagles, Leon Mackey. Plus, we'll also be having a guest from the Chicago Bears come on. He's also a linebacker. His is going to be John Timu. All right. Well, once again, I'm Charles Prodigy Ritchie, being joined by Juice.
The Influence. How you doing?
Yes. And I don't know about you, but getting ready to kick it off. Right now, we got some guests on the line, like I said. And you're listening to Primed Up at ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. Once again, you can find me at the Prodigy Ritchie, capital P, capital R, no longer Hitman 083. So at Prodigy Ritchie. Juice, where can they find you at?
You can still find me at Rolo_Juice on Twitter. On Instagram, you can find me at Juice_The Influence. And you can find me on Facebook, Jamar James.
All right. Well, let's get ready to get into it. We're going to have our guests come on the line right now. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello?
Sorry about that, folks. I have a little bit of a technical delay. Okay, we just have a little bit of a short delay. Sorry about that. Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
There we go.
Hey, what's up, LaDonna? Stacy?
Yes, it is.
Hey, how's everybody doing? How everybody have a good rest of their weekend?
Yes, it's pretty great. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Well, anyway, let's just, before we get into this, I just want to introduce everybody real quickly. There's another Arena Football League. It's similar to the Arena Football League. This is the CPIFL. In case everyone's wondering, it's the Champion Professional or Indoor Football League. And this year in Chicago, we got one here at the USC Pavilion who actually debuted this year. They're the Chicago Eagles, and a very fun, exciting team. Had the privilege of covering them at their home games this past year. Right now, they are 2-3, and I tell you what, have fun watching these guys play under their head coach Tim Arvanitis. But anyway, before we go any further, let everybody introduce yourselves to everybody. Beginning with you, LaDonna. Where can they find you on social media, and tell us a little bit more about the Chicago Eagles, if you don't mind.
Oh, my goodness. I'm LaDonna Ray, and I am just so excited to be the PR director for the Chicago Eagles. And when it comes to our social media that's available, these people are so engaged. I mean, I've never really dealt with, putting a post out and saying, hey, Chicago Eagles fans, and people just jump all over it. And that can be found on Facebook. That's on Facebook, Ileana Eagles. On Twitter, we are Chicago Eagle, no S. And on Instagram, we are Chicago Eagles Football. But when you go to these different platforms, you'll kind of get a feel for what's been going on with our inaugural season.
Yeah. No doubt about it. And one of the teams that they just beat over this past weekend was the Omaha Beef, and Stacey Howard. He was definitely one of the key players in that game. As I was covering, he had nice, solid catches in this game, and it was definitely a fun comeback. See him put up. It had 3 for 35 yards, with 3 touchdowns. Longest one being 19. And eventually, how's this going to make your team feel playing right now in this opening year, Stacey? Let's begin with you. How you guys feel for your first year in the league, playing for Tim Arvanitis, playing in front of these fans, playing with something to prove, especially during this time, though, when it's around spring. I mean, when it's around baseball and then playoffs. What's your guys' mindset right about now?
So I know that in talking with Stacey, he has been nothing but excited and humble about this. I'm not sure if he kind of muted his phone for a second, but okay. I don't want to speak for him. But when I called him, I wanted to call him and congratulate him for being the game's MVP. Yeah. And he said, "Oh man, I just wanted to, be a team player and win the game." And he was nothing short of a team player. The people in the stands just yelled and said, "No more beef." And I seriously saw that night. And when he made that final catch, I wish he could just tell us, what was on his mind when that happened. You can kind of see it in the footage. But my goodness, to hear it from him personally would just be, I'm sure, amazing. Stacey, you still there?
Okay, no.
Yeah.
Is everything good?
Yeah, I think he might have muted his phone by mistake.
That's fine. Well, anyway, too, we also got another player on the Eagles. He's also number 49, Leon Mackey. Leon, are you?
Actually, Leon couldn't make it onto our interview, and I do apologize because, they're training and so on and so forth. So his training ran over. But what we do have, if I may, is almost like when the Eagles meet a bear. Yeah. We have Mr. John Timu, and he plays for the Chicago Bears. He is an amazing starting linebacker for the Chicago Bears, and he is coming out to sign autographs for young children especially. And it's so exciting because now when we get a piece of Chicago Eagles, and we get a piece of the Chicago Bears coming in, we have nothing but excitement from the children. We've already gotten emails. Yeah, Stacey. Stacey's back. I think there was something going on with your phone.
Oh, okay.
But we were asking. Charles was asking how you felt when you did that catch. So jump in, and then we'll get back to John Timo.
Okay. Well, basically about the catch, we had a rough start to the game, and, when you have rough starts, you can kind of get down a little bit, people's mindset won't be in the right place. So, more than anything, I was just focused on trying to seal that catch, as far as falling over the wall and falling on my back. I mean, I took one for the team there, I just really wanted to score and kind of give my guys something to go off of, as far as, get their adrenaline back up, get their blood pumping, let them know that we're still in this game. We got a lot of time left. Let's just go out and make plays. So that was just a play I had to make, not only for myself, but for my team, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we always start off, you know, trying to catch up. So I just had to make a point, you know, that we're not out of this game whatsoever, and that I'm gonna fight for you guys. So let's all fight for each other, really.
And you know what? It's once been an amazing thing, though, too, this year. I remember you guys had a different starting quarterback to start the year, Crawford, back like in the first couple of games. He actually no longer available on the team. But talk about how much it feels like the difference, though, too. Also playing with a guy like Anthony Ionite, too, though. I mean, who also has made his fair contributions as we watch these games. I mean, he's definitely been taking, like, you know, situations in his own hands at times. I mean, how do you guys feel like rallying around each other, especially him under center with you guys?
Well, you know, of course, you know, we had Brendan. He was an awesome quarterback. You know, some things happened to where he's not available with us no more. But as far as Ionati, you know, I always knew he had it in him. You know, we had two quarterbacks that I've always felt comfortable with, you know, and because Brendan's gone now, you know, I have to give all my support to Anthony. You know, the quarterback is the team leader. You know, so I give him that leading role. Like I don't have a problem with rallying behind him. You know what I'm saying? Because he has to get that ball to me. And coming from the team aspect, I think everyone's really comfortable with him. You know what I'm saying? He stepped up. He showed that he can play this spot, and he's doing everything in his power. And he has a lot of fight in him. You know, he wants to win games. So I think we all support him very well. And we're amazed on how well he's doing. And, you know, there's still a lot more games left. And the more and more that we keep winning, the more confident he's going to be and the more comfortable everyone else is going to be on the field as far as the offense, you know, running routes or the linemen blocking and the running backs, you know, running the ball. But, yeah, he's a great quarterback, man. He has a lot of talent, and he's going to show more. You know what I'm saying? He's warming up. He's letting some fire get up underneath him, and he's a big character. You know what I'm saying? So he fights. You know, he doesn't want to lose, and he puts a lot of faith in us. So we get the job done.
Okay. Hey, would you guys hang around for like about another 7-8 more minutes? So we gotta get ready to take a commercial break real quick. It'd be like about less 5 minutes. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, well, guys, thank everybody for joining for the time being. Once again, on the line, we got LaDonna Ray, one of the media specialists with the Chicago Eagles, one of the public relations people, along with Stacey Howard, who's one of the wide receivers, and then Chicago Bears linebacker John Taimu. We'll be right back. We're going to hit this break. Don't go anywhere. And once again, we're back to Primed Up. The show keeps you primed and on time. You're listening to ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. I'm Charles Prodigy Ritchie, being joined by Jamar
Juice the Influence.
And once again, welcome back, everybody. We got continue to remain with us on the line here throughout this segment. We're going to wrap up here with some guests from the Chicago Eagles. Once again, we got LaDonna Ray of public relations specialist for the Chicago Eagles, alongside wide receiver Stacey Howard, and then a linebacker from the Chicago Bears coming on. Everybody, you there?
Yes.
All righty.
Sir.
What's up?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you for continuing to stay on hold. We really appreciate that. Also, now I want to get to the Chicago Bears linebacker here. John Timu, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing today?
Doing well, sir. Living on the West Coast, so it's nice and warm.
I understand. I can understand that. Well, speaking around which, draft is coming up around the corner here in about a couple of weeks. We're going to be talking about a little over three and a half weeks. What's one of the main things you guys want to participate on, like Bears-wise, going forward? Going into year 2 under John Fox.
What was that? Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. What did you guys want to concentrate on under year 2 with John Fox going to with the Chicago Bears as far as like approaching the draft and like what things are you guys looking to accomplish, turn things around?
Oh, yeah. I like to let the front office do the job. But I think the most important part doing it the next year is just building a mentality from everybody, from trainer to players to coaches, even those guys in the front office. They're building a habit of winning, a mentality of winning. We're trying to just change things around because you can tell that the vibes, everybody wants to win, obviously. Everybody wants to be the best. But if we can just make it become applicable to our daily lives from Monday all the way to up until game day, even starting in the off season, and then find those guys in the draft also to help build us, and to make sure that every day we come in and we compete with each other, to make sure that we have that one common goal is to be the best at the end of the year.
Cool. Well, also too, I mean, what do you think's gonna finally like be like bring over the hump as far as like getting back into like the playoffs like come up? Like, what's some key areas you want to work on?
Sorry, there's a lot going on in the background.
Yeah, but let me just chime in. With John Timu, Charles, what we really want to focus on is Saturday's event, and it's like there are so many things going on with Saturday, and it started today when that press release went out to let people know that he was going to definitely be there on Saturday, and there's so many kids just waiting to meet him. And if we could focus on that for John Timu, it would be probably a great thing.
Yeah, no, and that would definitely be a great event. Look forward to seeing there. So it'll be at the game this weekend here as the Chicago Eagles will be going forward. So they'll be next up in line. They'll be going to be playing the Bandits this Saturday at 7 p.m.
Absolutely. And with the Bandits, I mean, we've won the last 2 games in a row, and it is so amazing. It's that feeling of finally, we got it right. And like Stacey said earlier, he took one for the team. And Charles, I know that you come to every game and you are so into it, especially when we have our post-game press conferences. But we're also just very excited about welcoming our Chicago Bear, John Timu, to come out and support our efforts. These guys have been training. They've been not necessarily drafted, but some of these players are ex-NFL players. And with John coming on board to help with our efforts with the fans, it's just an amazing experience. I'm very excited about it. John said he was excited about it, and that's why he's going to definitely be there. But John, Charles, I do apologize. I don't want to take over your interview. But
no, you're fine.
It's like, I know that, he talks about obviously the NFL all the time, and he's like, okay, let me talk about Saturday. So I just wanted to chime in.
Yeah, cool. Well, hey, everybody. Well, we're going to wrap this up right about now, but I just wanted to say thank you to all our guests coming out, though. It's been a pleasure having you on here on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, primed up. Just closing out real quickly, if everybody wouldn't mind plugging in like their social media, where can we look everybody up at and like keep this thing going here, especially with John Timu and what he works with and on the team real quickly. Beginning with you, LaDonna.
Okay, well, the Chicago Eagles social media, you can go to our website, that's chicagoeagles.us, and then you can go to our Instagram, which is Chicago Eagles Football. You can go to our Twitter, which is Chicago Eagle, no S, and you can find us on Facebook at Ileana Eagles. We used to be called the Ileana Eagles. So if you go to Facebook, you'll find our Facebook fan page at Ileana Eagles. Of course, you can find mine, LaDonna Ray. It's LaDonnaraeh. Just search for it. You'll find me everywhere. Go, Stace.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So, you guys can find me on Twitter at _Cali West, CaliWest. I'm from the West Coast. Also, my Instagram, you guys can find me at _Cali West with 3 C's at the end. And, you can find me on Facebook at Stacey Howard. You know what I'm saying? I'm always on there retweeting different things.
And John Timu, how about you?
Yes, sir. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram with the same name at John Timu _10. I like to keep it real simple and easy.
Nice. Well, anyway, once again, I just want to say thank everybody for coming on. But pleasure having you. Like I said, once again, for everybody who hasn't seen this team play, feel free to get a chance whenever you get an opportunity to go out there. You can find them at the UIC Pavilion. A very exciting team. Take it from me, just covering these guys. Definitely bust their butts week in, week out, despite the adversity, and have a lot of character building right here. And just want to say congratulations on the recent victory this past weekend over the Omaha Beef. Let's see, make it 3 in a row with the Bants coming up. And like I said, after that, you're going to be having an interesting road trip right after that. So best of luck to you guys, and please have a strong finish to the season. And also, John Timu, I'd like to thank you again. Always a terrific feeling when we have someone from our own, especially on the Chicago Bears, come hop on board over here. So everybody, please have a great night. Thank you so much for coming along, and feel free to call in next time if you want. More than welcome back.
Thank you for having us. Thank you so much,
No
John.
problem.
Thanks for having us.
Likewise.
That's Saturday.
All right, buddy.
All right, guys.
All right,
Bye-bye.
see you later.
Okay, well, that was once again, though, the Chicago Eagles, the public relations of LaDonna Ray, Stacey Howard, and John Timu of the Chicago Bears. Alrighty, well, we're gonna come back in a little bit. We're gonna break a little bit exciting news with the Chicago Cubs and some stuff to get into, and then also we're gonna finish off with the Hawks and the Bulls, and we'll try and squeeze in a little bit of MMA here. You're listening to Primed Up, but before we go any further, we're gonna have to take this sports update here coming up right now. Listen to us live.
Chicagoland Sports Radio Sports Update.
At 6:30 p.m., I'm Charles Prodigy Ritchie with your ChicagolandSportsRadio.com update. Well, the Chicago Bulls are now officially out of the playoffs as a result of the Indiana Pacers defeating the Memphis Grizzlies yesterday 129-105. They'll be on the road this evening as they will be taking on the New Orleans Hornets, which will be coming up here in less than a half hour away. That's a 7 p.m. Central Standard Time tip-off. Chicago Cubs will have their home opener in the next hour, about 35 minutes, as they'll be hosting the Cincinnati Reds with John Lester taking the hill against Brandon Finnegan. White Sox on the other side of town had their final game of the series against the Cleveland Indians get delayed yesterday due to rain, and will be now made up as a doubleheader, officially beginning on May 23rd at 4:10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Currently, right now, as we look at the scoreboard in baseball, it is right now the Atlanta Braves leading to the Washington Nationals in the bottom of the first 2-1 score. The Florida Marlins and the New York Mets, no score, bottom of the first. That just concluded. Now we're going to the top of the second with the Marlins coming up the bat. Then later on this evening, we'll be having the Houston Astros hosting the Kansas City Royals, the defending World Series champs. They're 4-1 going up against the Astros 2-4. Oakland Athletics will be hosting the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim at now 5 p.m. Central Time. And then later on, the Seattle Mariners will be hosting the Texas Rangers. The Baltimore Orioles went final, defeating the Boston Red Sox 9-7. And then San Diego Padres defeated the Philadelphia Phillies 4-3. White Sox officially defeat the Minnesota Twins. They are now 5-2 as they beat them 4-1. And then lastly, the St. Louis Cardinals defeat the Milwaukee Brewers 10-1. Also, the NHL, the Chicago Blackhawks are currently finished third in the Central Division. And Patrick Kane picks up the Art Ross Trophy for being the top scoring player in the league. In the UFC, Junior Dos Santos, Ben Rothwell loses at the hand to Junior Dos Santos in the fight. This has been your ChicagolandSportsRadio.com update, brought to you by the Illinois Media School. For more information, go beyondair.com. I'm Charles Prodigy Ritchie.
All the time, like in spring training and just walking around. I mean, there's so many Cub fans everywhere. The people are really into us, and they're very appreciative of what had happened last year and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's going to be raucous tomorrow. The that combined with the unveiling of our new clubhouse, that's going to be exciting for everybody. So it'd be nice to get this win, go home on a real high note going into tomorrow, and it should be a lot of fun.
Hey now, we're back on Primed Up once again. Right now, before we hit this next break, we're going to be talking about the Chicago Cubs coming in after we come back. The Chicago Cubs are playing hot right now. They are now 5-1 for the season, just doing a remarkable job start to the season. One of the biggest devastating blows they received this past weekend was losing Kyle Schwarber, outfielder, for the rest of the season due to a torn ACL, LCL. Interesting to see how that affects this team going down the stretch, but I'd like to believe they got a lot of talent around them, low to go. All right, well, we're going to take this break. We're going to talk more Cubs and then some key stuff that you need to be aware of for the Chicago Blackhawks going up against the St. Louis Blues. You're listening to Primed Up here at ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. And welcome back, everybody, to ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. You're listening to Primed Up. Once again, I'm Charles Prodigy Rich A, along with Jamar Juice.
The influence.
Heck to the yeah, my friend. Alrighty, well, you know what? I mean, that's, speaking of which, Chicago Cubs are definitely really, rocking as of late, if you ask me. I mean, they've just been doing an astounding job. 5-1. I know it's a lot more to go this year, but what do you think of their hot start so far? I mean, it's going to be real interesting to see what kind of twist the season takes with Kyle Schwarber, their outfielder, out, who's been one of their top stars. How do you think this is going to impact this team, or do you feel like they got enough to overcome that so far, what you've been seeing in the preseason and just starting off? I know we're just barely in past week one. What's your thoughts so far?
My thoughts would be... Mic on? I would say that they didn't get there just off the strength of him. I mean, he assisted, but I mean, they got a lot of weapons on this squad, man, this year. So I mean, I feel like they can do good. They can still pull it out without him. Give him his time so he can rest, and then come back and, you know what I'm saying, they'll be doing even greater.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, you also got to think, though, too, they're starting pitching. I mean, Jake Arrieta is definitely picking up where he left off. 2-0 so far to start off the season. He's having a phenomenal career year once again. And then, you're going to be starting your home opener for the first time. I don't know about you. I don't ever recall a home opener for Chicago Cubs fans, especially being a night game versus a traditional day game, which is kind of cool if you ask me.
Yeah. Night games are always cool.
Yeah. And then also, too, you also look at the Chicago White Sox, where they're currently at. As we take a look at the standings right now, their record, they are currently 5-2 so far, so pretty respectable in their own right, as they're neck and neck with the Kansas City Royals. But again, though, it's the early part of the season. Though, enjoy the great starts. Where it's going to really come down when it's all about when it's playoff baseball. Right. End of August, going to September, October. The deal. I mean, forget the highlight reel. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But for real, I think, both teams are going to be in for a magical season, if you ask me, and an exciting one as well.
That's my expectation, too.
Yeah, and then also, too, it's just going to be sadly, I don't know about you, but for the White Sox and the South Side, it's going to be hardly the same not having Hawk Harrelson call the home games. I mean, that guy's just been one of their loyal guys all the way to the end, though. I mean, a matter of time, though, when, see him, move on, from the broadcast booth altogether, from this organization. I don't know about you, but it's gonna be hard pressed for me to imagine how they'll be carrying on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's got to be pretty sad, man. He's been there so long. It's like I guess how do you follow up a performance like he gives? You know what I mean?
He definitely defined Southside pride baseball. I mean, like no other, if you ask me. But anyway, speaking of which, we're going to be moving on right now to the Chicago Blackhawks, as they are right now officially they finished third place in the Central Division behind the Dallas Stars, who got the number one seed in the West, and they're definitely right now going to be interesting to see. They're going to be locking up with the St. Louis Blues to start off the first round. I mean, a couple of years ago, in 2014, when they fought the St. Louis Blues, remember, they were down 2-0, and they were able to manage to come back. I would like to think that they got a good way to rally around, but I'm going to tell you this. The real interesting thing, make them or break them, I think if they find a way to just give Corey Crawford the lead. I mean, you saw him barely come back this past Saturday, his first return of the year. And, Chicago Blackhawks, if they're going to find a way to win, it's definitely going to be really interesting what they do. I mean, here's the thing, though. The different ones, like I said in the Sit Next show with Sid the Kid on Saturday, you got to remember this. When they fought the Anaheim Ducks in the Western Conference Finals, remember, that's pretty much fairly towards the end of the playoffs. So, because remember, you only have one more round for the Stanley Cup. If they do, come out there a little banged up out of this round, if they find a way to move on, which I'm sure they will, I predict them to win this in 6, maybe 7 games. But I'll say 6, take the safe bet. But you got to remember, they come out a little bit banged up. How are they going to do going forward? Because remember, you got the Minnesota Wild, who was also in the playoffs. They'll be going against the Dallas Stars. Imagine if they upset the Dallas Stars. And can you imagine if we, at some point in time, had to see the Wild in the playoffs? A team who could not beat all year. Even though, yes, it is playoff time.
Right.
But, thing to look out for. Anyway, well, here's a couple highlights from this past weekend's game on Saturday from the Chicago Blackhawks. Check it out.
Kane, far side. Kane, Panarin scores. Pass is picked up. Panarin moving in, fires, score.
Well, anyway, that was the Chicago Blackhawks. They lost to the St. Louis Blues. I mean, not the Blues, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Thank you very much. On Saturday evening. So they're going to be opening up again against the St. Louis Blues in the first round. In the meanwhile, Patrick Kane, he picks up the Art Ross Trophy this year, and that's for the player with the highest scoring in the league. And phenomenal year. Talk a little bit about him, if you will, Jamar, from your standpoint, from what you saw. Patrick Kane.
Well, I really haven't seen much, but what I have seen, I say he's a phenomenal player. I feel like without him, they probably wouldn't be where they are right now. He's like a grinded out player. Like he doesn't stop. You know what I mean? And without, like I said, without him, Blackhawks probably could have chalked it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. And I don't know about you, but I'd still say I make the argument for team MVP. I probably have to say more so Corey Crawford a little bit. And don't get me wrong, Patrick Kane's been phenomenally consistent, as of Corey Crawford. But the biggest difference for me, when you have to look at, the Hawks were a first-place team in the Central throughout most of the season, up until they started, little by little after Marian Hossa went down back in February, right around Valentine's Day. They started, little by little, just hitting a slump, and just something, if you ask me, weren't able to recover. They really had a a little bit of a shaky turnaround, but I'll be interested to see where you Hawk fans feel Blackhawks are going to do. Do you think they're going to be able to fade away, or do you think they'll have one more trip in them? I mean, right now. I mean, you also got to think after this season too. There's going to be a lot of guys you have to look about trying to keep. I mean, Duncan Keith. Will you be able to manage to find a way to keep him? Even some of your rookies, Teuvo Teravainen, Panarin. I mean, the chemistry with Patrick Kane, I mean, this has been a huge reason, too, why this Hawks team has been where they're around. Well, speaking of not bringing it around, I tell you what, it's really got me aggravated. I'm sure a lot of fans probably feel like they don't deserve it, though. But I'm talking about, of course, the Chicago Bulls. Yeah, the Chicago Bulls, they're officially out of the playoffs this year, and really stings this year. A lot of things going on. I mean, here's one of the stories I was reading up on this weekend. Jimmy Butler wasn't able to make the plane trip with his team on Sunday evening going to New Orleans. He said he had family commitments. Yeah. But if you ask me, though, I mean, it's kind of like an eyeball-ish time right there. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everyone's got their own stuff to tend to. I get that. But, I mean, you're going to be having Derrick Rose. He's not going to be playing the rest of the season. So he's going to, take it easy right now. Paul Gasol, he's not going to be available for your final games here down the stretch. So I ask you, what do we need? I mean, what do they need going forward? I mean, just to improve. What's the big turnaround for you?
The big turnaround for me, man, to be honest, I'm slowly going towards what everybody says about Derrick Rose, but I still have a lot of faith in Derrick Rose. And my thing is, I believe they should keep Jimmy Butler, keep Rose, and they need some more role players around those guys. If they can get some better high intensity role players around those guys, then I believe we can have a good team. But a lot of our team players they're just like rusty tools, man. Like they falling apart, they're hurting, and
rusty tools.
Yeah, it's time to get some new tools. These tools are stripped, and we've used them. They've done us well, but it's time to remold, because I feel like Derrick Rose, he still has a lot left in him. Everybody wants to compare him to Tracy McGrady, but I still see him fighting back, unless he gets another career like a season-ending. Well, I would say a career-ending injury. A season-ending injury wouldn't really be that bad, but a career-ending injury, that would be bad. But I say build the team around Jimmy Butler and Rose. I mean, that's what you need, and make them better scorers.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, speaking of which, of a team that you could really face a lot of injuries, I'm talking about MMA. Well, this past weekend, Junior Dos Santos finally picks up a much-needed win in his MMA career, as the UFC was in Croatia this week on Fight Night. The big main event was between him and Big Ben Rothwell over the weekend, and he gets the victory here. And this is a guy right here who's lost 3 of his last 5 fights at one point, and a guy who was a former heavyweight champion in the heavyweight division. We'll see if he can finally be able to turn it around. But got some interesting news real quick before we hurry up and finish out. one of the things that's going on in MMA might be a little concerning to fans is the Ali Act coming to the world of MMA. I mean, it's been around in boxing and, supporting, showing support for fighters who've been having a lot of, physical injury throughout the years. But see, the thing is, what people are getting a little concerned with is this going to be a cause where you really start seeing a union being formed by MMA fighters. This began back in 2000. It amended the 1996 Professional Boxing Safety Act, including protection for boxers, financial interests, in addition to the previous bill's minimum health and safety standards. I'd be interested to see how this will affect MMA and UFC. I mean, especially with the sport right there, you got a lot of fighters, reacting, being underpaid, and just not seeing enough. Well, anyway, that's going to do it for us. So I want to say thank you again to our guests, LaDonna Ray, then Stacey Howard, and John Timu of the Chicago Bears and the Chicago Eagles. It's been a fun week to have everybody tune in once again. You can find me at Hitman083. At the Prodigy Richie on Twitter.com. And Juice, where can they find you again? Once again,
find me at Rolo_Juice. That's on Instagram. That's on Twitter, and on Facebook, Jamar James, and on Instagram, Juice_the_influence.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us. So I just wanted to say thank you once again. Everybody, have a good rest of your weekend. Good rest of your day, and be safe. We gone.
We gone.
Don't be trolling, be rolling.